Oh, by the way, I am not a tyrant. I support freedom, but I support freedom in the kind of way that a person who has lived in the 21st century America supports freedom. Because we are a free country, and you can't say that we're not a free country because, for instance, we make it a crime to murder people, right? You would agree with me with that much, right? You can't expect to remain free if you're running around on the loose killing people. It's a reasonable position to take, right? Society, right? Well, I think that vaccine resistance is not reasonable, and so I support freedom, but I support freedom within, safe boundaries and reasonable boundaries. And my position in all this is, to say, like, as to for women, on women's rights issues and everything, I'm not one of those guys that's advocating that you not be allowed to do with what you want with a fetus that's growing inside of you. I mean, I've advocated, for that. I've pushed, I've informed women of women on waves and everything, and of misoprostol and these drugs and everything. I've even written guides on, how to potentially buy Bitcoin and get into the darknet markets, in order to obtain an illegal supply if push comes to shove. Behind these. Needless to say, I am I'm pro-choice as hell in the classic political sense of what that term is, and not necessarily pro-choice in like the more abstract sense, but what that term has come to mean in our politics. But I'm very pro-vaccine at the same time, and so my position in all of this is that I've been very reluctant to take the plunge to the point with respect to feminism of actually fully embracing body autonomy because within reasonable constraints. I agree. I mean, I think, you know, to some extent your body is yours, but I do think that s- it becomes more murky for the simple reason that if you get infected, these viruses don't really fucking care who you are, what your politics are, what person you voted for, how much, and they don't care. They will, a virus is gonna kill you dead, and the thing is that you take the risk of passing it on to people that you come into contact with because these things make people contagious, such that either it's airborne or they give it to them through their body fluids and everything else. And so, so in my view, because these viruses make people contagious, vaccine resistance should be a crime. And I think that it's time to extend the limits on freedom, within American society to vaccine resistance and to make this something that is no longer acceptable or sanctioned within our society. An added benefit is that it will institutionalize the stigma against these fucking carriers. So, that is my position in all this. Vaccine resistance should not be a right. It should be a crime.